Hi, my name is Dr. Ladd McNamara. Today we're going to talk about what makes a quality supplement because many of you are taking a very high quality supplement. Some of you still have questions as to how is this different from anything I can get at the store, because aren't they all the same anyway? Well, that's what I used to think a long time ago. But the main theme about this Facebook Live is that supplements are not created equally. And I know that's a very common mistake because a lot of people, even doctors and even myself years ago, when I saw patients, I would tell them, just go down to the store and get some supplement. They're all the same. Well, that's not always true. And many of you might see on the ingredient list an amount, let's say vitamin C, that says 2,000% above the United States RDA, the recommended dietary allowances. So what are the RDAs, the recommended dietary allowances? You'll see that. And when you see 2,000% above the RDA, you're going to think, my goodness, they're trying to kill somebody. Well, that's not true. Well, what is the RDA and how was it established? Well, the RDA was established years ago, and since I brought up vitamin C, the RDA for vitamin C is only 60 milligrams. 60 milligrams of vitamin C is the amount that is found in an orange. Well, if you eat 2 oranges, that would be twice the RDA. Are you at toxic level with 2 oranges in a day? Hardly. So the RDA levels really have nothing to do with toxic levels at all. They're not even to do with optimal levels. What they were established to do was to set the minimum level, not to go below. So these minimum levels are meant to prevent the classical nutrient deficiency diseases. That's it. When you can, like for example, vitamin C, if you've got at least 60 milligrams per day of vitamin C, you shouldn't get scurvy. Vitamin A, night blindness. Vitamin D, rickets, and etc. That's the issue. So going above the RDA is not only safe, it's often recommended if you want to receive optimal health and maintain your health as much as possible. So the point is that the RDA is really not the thing to shoot for. What makes quality supplements? Number one thing that has to be decided to go into quality supplement is the quality raw ingredients. Quality raw ingredients will be non-GMO, genetically modified. They'll also be pesticide-free and they have a high potency and purity. As a matter of fact, companies that get the high quality raw ingredients will get products that are certified to have the potency and purity that you want. They come with what's called certificates of analysis, COA, certificates of analysis. So quality supplement manufacturer will buy ones that have COAs that have the potency and purity that is desired. Like for example, grapeseed extract. You want to have a grapeseed extract with a potency of at least 95%. That would be good. Well, here's the problem. How many manufacturers are checking to make sure that the certificate, what is delivered to them, matches their certificate of analysis? Not many. Very few actually do that. As a matter of fact, there's only one company that checks every single batch of every raw ingredient that comes to it and checks it to make sure that the raw ingredients match their certificates of analysis for their potency and purity. And that way, nothing can get into the product, the finished product, that isn't potent and pure. So the next step that comes to, obviously, when you have the raw ingredients, is quality manufacturing. It starts with checking the raw ingredients to making sure that they are potent and pure. The testing includes something that's beyond potency and purity, and that is to check for contaminants. Those contaminants can be pesticides. They can be bacteria. They can be heavy metals, organic residues, fungi, etc. So all these things that can get into the raw ingredients, they need to be checked for. As a matter of fact, there are well over 900 tests that can be done on a quality foundational vitamin and mineral product to make sure that the products are what they should be. Now, once you have the potency and purity, what type of formulation is it? Because it could be in a formulation that's not highly absorbable. Not highly absorbable doesn't get absorbed in your gut, and therefore, what's the point of taking it if it doesn't get absorbed? So bioavailable formulations is important. It's what can be absorbed and what the cell will then utilize. Some of them are more bioavailable than others. Some formulations of vitamins and minerals are more bioavailable. For example, the minerals. Minerals in their natural state come as mineral salts. These mineral salts are not that highly absorbable, but when you chelate them or attach them to organic molecules like a citrate or a spartate or any type of amino acid or Krebs cycle intermediate, then they get absorbed much more readily, and therefore what you take in a certain amount of supplement will more likely get into your system. That's the whole point of taking it, right? It gives you more value. Well, when you talk about raw ingredients, when you talk about quality manufacturing, there's a cost to it. It's going to cost more than some manufacturer that just puts together a bunch of junk. Well, let's just see, we'll take this. We'll take your word for it that you're delivering this to us. And we'll just, we won't check it and we won't do all the testing on it, but we'll put it in there and we'll make sure to have the small amount of product in it. It may not be the best formulations. You see, that's the cheap way to go. But cheap is never a value, is it? Then you want to have the proper amounts of micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, and you want them in the right ratios and balances. If they're not in the right ratios and balances, they can throw things off. Like if you're getting too much zinc or too much copper, or then it can reduce the absorption of zinc. There's competitive absorption between the minerals. So by having the minerals in the right ratios, you can then deliver to the body what's needed. Although there still will be competitive absorption for many of these minerals, like copper and zinc, etc. But there's enough in them in the proper ratios that will deliver to the body what it needs. Now that we have our supplement tablet with the raw ingredients, with it manufactured, etc., now we put the tablets together. Now, do they dissolve? I had patients coming into my practice. One brought an X-ray and showed on an X-ray, it showed on her bowel, it showed her vitamins tablet in her sigmoid colon. In other words, 24 hours after taking it, it was sitting in her sigmoid colon and it was going to go out the same way it came in. That's not a quality supplement. What's the point in taking it if it doesn't dissolve and get in your system? Well, there's what's called United States Pharmacopoeia standards, USP standards for dissolution and disintegration. Those USP standards say that the vitamin tablet has to dissolve in 30 to 45 minutes when in these tests. And sure enough, if something's going to get in your system and get in your stomach and go through your intestines and not dissolve, then that's not following the United States Pharmacopoeia standards. As a matter of fact, the supplements I take, the high quality supplements I take, sometimes when you start to get them wet, they'll start to dissolve real quickly because the whole dissolution process starts because the thin plant coating, instead of a toxic coating on the outside of a tablet, will start to wear away, and then you want to make sure you swallow it and take it because you want to have it dissolve in your stomach within 30 to no more than 45 minutes. Well, the testing done on the quality supplements that I take, which is the Asana brand, has shown that they often dissolve within less than 15 minutes. Less than 15 minutes. So about 15 minutes or so, that's half the time of what the standards say they should. Well, anyway, this comes down to the good manufacturing practices, the GMP. The good manufacturing practices are this. There are standards set forth by the NSF International that was set forth for the pharmaceutical industry. And those industry standards are that not only the products have to disintegrate and dissolve, but there are many other standards like keeping records at all stages of the manufacturing processes to make sure that the identity of the ingredients are there, to make sure the hardness of the tablets are there, to make sure that the shelf life, it can be maintained. There's just page after page after page after page of standards that are set forth for the pharmaceutical industry that now these high quality supplements will follow those standards. So when you look at something that has to follow the food grade standards, they're not anywhere near the pharmaceutical grade standards. A food grade standard just means, like, for example, like for peanut butter. For peanut butter to get a food grade standard, that means that you can't have anything toxic that could hurt you, and you can't have other things like rat hair in it. If you see rat hair or rat poop in it, then that's doesn't meet the food grade standards. It can be in there. The rat poop and the rat hair can be in the peanut butter. You just can't see it. See, so the standard is visibility. If it's below visibility, then it can be in there. If it's above where you can see it, then it's not. That's not a pharmaceutical grade standard. You don't want that for your supplements. So really, the high grade quality supplements follow standards that are set forth for the pharmaceutical industry. A lot of people will refer to that as, you know, food grade versus pharmaceutical grade, and you can think of it that way if you wish. But I was just speaking just a few minutes ago of how it's really defined. Now, lastly, I hear this all the time, and people will read the bottom disclaimer. These products are not approved by the FDA and not meant to treat, diagnose, cure, mitigate, or prevent any disease. Well, are the products FDA approved? What does that even mean, FDA approved? I know that sounds great. You want your products FDA approved, right? Well, approved to do what? That's the thing. Approved. See, drugs, medicines are approved to treat a disease. Insulin is approved to treat diabetes. There's other medications that are approved to treat a certain thing. Statin drugs are approved to treat high cholesterol. They're not approved to treat fungus. See, so they're not FDA approved to treat fungus, but they are FDA approved to treat high cholesterol. So what are the supplements? What would you want the supplements approved to do? Since the supplements are not drugs, they're not medication, they're not approved to treat anything. There's not any supplements that are approved to treat a disease. And if I misspoke there and I'm wrong about anything, then forgive me, but the point is that these are supplements, not drugs. For the FDA approval process, it will take a pharmaceutical company approximately 10 years to approve a drug and $2.5 billion to approve one drug to get to market after 10 years. That's the approval process. How many supplement companies can spend $2.5 billion and wait 10 years and 10 years of testing on a supplement to show that it can treat what? Treat fatigue or treat high cholesterol, high blood pressure, but what about all the other benefits of supplements? Now, we're not making any claims that the products do anything other than they support good health. And that's what you want. Good energy, better sense of well-being. It supports the tissues of the brain, the heart, the lungs, the eyes, the skin, everywhere, the intestines, everything. So when you get a full spectrum, a broad spectrum of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, then your cells will be able to use those micronutrients to remain at their optimal health, their optimal state of function. The mitochondria that produces the energy molecules, ATP, can function at their optimum and produce proteins that will be able to function at their optimum. And when your cells are all healthy, your tissues are healthy, your organs are healthy, and your body is healthy. That's what it's about. That's what quality supplements can do. So take your supplements twice a day, every day, and we'll talk about other aspects of it later in another video. Thanks.